Hello, I'm James Wells, Education Manager at Crayola. Planning back to school can feel like a tedious task that many of us may want to put off until later in the summer. But early planning can reduce the school prep anxiety and help you make the most of your time off. Start the new school year rested, recharged, and ready for creative learning. Creativity is an essential skill that prepares students for the many challenges they face in school and life. In a recent survey by Forbes magazine, CEOs overwhelmingly agree that creativity is a critical skill for the present and future workforce. During this session, we'll hear from educators who leverage creativity to engage their entire learning community. Each of them will contribute an important perspective to this conversation. Welcome, panelists.
Hello, I'm Candido Crespo.
Greetings. I am Dr. Quiñones.
Hi, I'm Diane Griffin.
For many schools, establishing and updating classroom procedures is a common practice at the start of the new school year. However, preparing for a creative school year includes having a flexible school culture and encouraging customized procedures that spark original ideas and novel what-if questions and approaches. Evelyn, how do you cultivate a culture of creativity and encourage faculty and students to develop their creative mindsets from the moment they start a new school year?
Every year brings growth and evolution. Starting a new year is a new opportunity to try new things and establish that safe space for teachers, staff, and students to use creativity to communicate and solve problems. We start our year by integrating arts in our pre-service week. Staff is facilitated with opportunities to experience how creativity and colors can change how you feel about a learning experience. Throughout the year, we explore their needs and wants, and we seek ways to support them through learning opportunities such as Crayola professional development opportunities. To change what happens in the classroom, we need to change what happens in the school.
Thank you, Evelyn. So in many school buildings, the art teacher is considered the chief creative officer. Evelyn, can you share what does this mean to you?
In our school, every teacher or staff member who is willing to take a risk to learn is considered the chief creative officer. The art teacher is the one that facilitates materials and presents technical aspects of art. However, our chiefs, they're the ones who open a safe space for students to communicate and discover learning through art. Our multilingual learners feel confident and proud to be part of learning, knowing that if they don't have enough words to answer, there are many other ways in that they can be part of the learning experience. You start seeing students presenting, dancing, acting, drawing, singing. Doesn't that sound like the best school?
Absolutely, Evelyn. Sounds like a wonderful school that I would love to be a part of. So, Candido, can you share examples of how students benefit from sharing your expertise with colleagues and helping classroom teachers embrace the creative process?
I think the best answer to that question is that the students receive alternative means of displaying knowledge. If a English teacher or writing, they're looking for a writing sample, maybe a student would feel more comfortable visualizing that, so turning it into a drawing. And I think the other thing is alternative learning methods that are visual and engaging, taking visual arts and applying it to both learning and to displaying their knowledge. And I think is really where I can best find myself assisting teachers with this.
Awesome. So, with that, what tips can you share with educators on ways to support the entire learning community and build creative confidence beyond the art classroom?
Right. I think sometimes giving examples is the best way to share this type of information. And I know that some teachers are doing it already as well. So, like, for example, fifth graders illustrating a poem. The way I feel about sharing this information is truly through collaboration. So, for an art teacher to go out of their way and build a bridge with the other core teachers, the other subject matter teachers, and maybe developing a lesson that explores shapes together, or a social studies teacher working together with the art teacher to maybe explore American history through American art history.
Awesome. Thank you, Candido. Creativity is imagination in action. Creativity can occur through drawing ideas, writing a story, solving a real life problem, or designing an innovative solution. Evelyn, in what ways do you help families understand creativity and the lifelong value it offers to everyone, regardless of their age?
One of the things that we do is that we invite our parents to be part of our instructional nights. So we have several math nights and reading nights and different activities that parents are invited. And the first thing that we do is that they have to be active participants of that night. So if we have an activity where students are building a structure, then the parents are building the structure as well. And that helps for them to experience learning in a different way that probably is not the way that they learned when they were at school at that age. So by doing this, we not just model for them, but we also share resources that they can extend the learning that is happening at school. They can extend that at home. So when they leave that instructional night, they take materials with them, they take supplies so that they can continue to do these things at home. So now it's not just the child that is integrating art and benefiting from this learning, but also the parents as well.
What a wonderful way to build that creative confidence and experience engagement at home. Thank you, Evelyn. And Candido, what types of family events can schools provide to increase the creative moments families enjoy at home?
Well, the events are going to sound as if they're piggybacking off of what Evelyn shared, but paint nights are actually a really great way to have families engaged. You work with a family as opposed to an individual and have the family experiment and explore together as a family unit. STEAM events, much like the building exercises, really give parents and their children an opportunity to explore what it's like to use and creativity to problem solve and how that could be applicable at home. And I think what's really important is to introduce simple art lessons, lessons that are low prep, lessons that are low mess, so that families are encouraged to actually continue doing these types of projects at home as well.
Thank you, Candido. There are several Crayola back to school lesson plans that educators can access for free on TeacherLists.com, including one that helps students create new friendships and one that helps them imagine what they'll learn. You can also download a week's worth of free Crayola thinking sheets that include classroom norms, you're invited, class book forests, and learning from mistakes. Candido, please share some examples of what students created using these resources.
Well, I was very fortunate to be able to teach You're Invited in my classroom, and we had a blast with that project. We started the conversation by just simply talking what is the best way to invite families into our school. And there was a sense of ownership and understanding the sentimentality of hand-drawn invitations. Well, we actually jumped on our school website and took a look at the way the school calendar is set up. And we found that there isn't much color to it. There isn't much visual components to that. So I asked the students, what are some common events that take place at school? And then I asked them to start illustrating them. And what we got was some really great invitations. And if you don't mind, I'd like to share some of them with you. This one here was for a Valentine's dance, spring concert, and I have one more, the book fair. And students really spent a lot of time thinking, how would they feel? How would they want their parents and their families to be invited to these events? And they took full ownership of it. And I think that's a great way to really have the students feel a sense of ownership and pride in their school events as well.
Thank you, Candido. What an awesome way to introduce students to the field of graphic design. We know that that is indeed a profession, and students having the opportunity to see themselves in that career through designing these invitations is a great creative moment. Viewers can also check out these activities and several others here. First, week of school activities, done. Parents and community members can support educators' classroom by providing supplies to do creative activities. Diane, in addition to the free learning library resources, TeacherLists provides an easy way for teachers to create their classroom supply list and share them out with parents and others. Can you show our viewers how to use TeacherLists.com to find Crayola lessons and build their back to school supply list?
Thank you, James. We're really excited to be able to offer Crayola creativity activities for free to our users. You just need to come to TeacherList.com and click on free classroom activities. We have lots of Crayola activities, including the ones we just talked about, create new friendships and imagine what you'll learn. Every single one of the activities includes everything you need to be able to do the activity. So the right learning area, the time it takes to complete the task, the grades that it's most appropriate for, and of course, all the materials that you'll need in the instructions. We here at TeacherList are all about trying to make back to school easier for families and get the materials that the teachers need in the classrooms for creative learning. What we do is we take that old paper school supply list and we turn it into a digital shoppable supply list. To get your school on board, you just need to upload the supply list that you already have, whether that's a Word doc, PDF, whatever you have. And then within 48 hours, we'll digitize it into a shoppable supply list and share it with our national retail partners, including Walmart and Target, Office Depot, and others. The school can then put the digital shoppable list on their website, or they can send it via email or newsletter, social media, however you communicate with your parents. And then when the parents come to view the list, they can look at that in English, but we also have it in multiple languages now, including Spanish. So whatever you need to communicate with your parents, we've got it. They can then print off the list and shop it in store, turn it into a checklist and check it off as they go into the store, or use our super convenient one-click shopping. And you just click on the retailer of your choice, and all the items on the list that the teachers requested go right into the cart on the retailer site. Super easy to use. It's free for schools and families, and really the families just love it, and the teachers love getting what they need in their classroom at the beginning of the school year.
Thank you, Diane. Today, we've learned that creativity is a unifying force that sparks school-wide collaboration. Candido, how do you approach collaboration with colleagues across your school building?
So one of my favorite things to do is right at the beginning of the school year, I like to pop into my lower grades, the kindergarten and first grade teachers, and ask them what books they have planned to read this school year. And then I can base some of the art lessons right around those same characters that are involved in those books. I mentioned earlier the importance of collaboration and creating bridges. So there's a sense of ownership for teachers here where you kind of have to take that initiative. I would encourage you as art teachers or classroom teachers to really take advantage of having one another inside of the classroom. An example of an actual project that I do that would allow for this and benefit from this opportunity is really creating comics in the classroom. They do all the illustrations while they're in art class, and then they can do all of the text and writing inside of their core classroom.
Thank you, Candido. And Evelyn, how can school leaders support more creative collaboration among faculty?
So I started by sharing that in order to change a classroom, you need to start by changing a school. So I like to start the year by sharing this book, which is The Dot. My staff has to start with this book first before they can work with this book with the students, because the first thing that you need to do is make a mark and just see where it takes you. So empieza por una marca a ver hasta dónde te lleva. So if we can encourage and celebrate those little things, trust me that we'll be able to celebrate those big things, because this is contagious. It's fun, it's learning, it gives you a voice to those that don't have one, and it also gives a safe space for those that learn in a different way. So when we want to make sure that it's not just me, that I want to do it because I feel artistic today, we can just encourage others to just give it a try. There's nothing wrong about it. So we can all give it a try, we can make big changes, and we get really excited about it. So this year we actually use the coffee filters, which they're already a circle, and every student had to decorate their own, and we just put all of them in the wall. So just imagine when you have more than 800 of those together. That gives a message.
A big message indeed. Thank you, panelists, for sharing your expertise, and a special thanks to the educators for joining us today. As you prepare for a creative school year, embrace the what-if possibilities and put your imagination in action.
Bye. Thank you.
Adiós. Muchas gracias.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.